Ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be listening to your favorite show that you've been waiting for all week long. It is what the show we call The Afternoon Twist, with your special guest host, Psycho Bagapus, and, of course, Kayla. So stick around, open your ears, enjoy the show.
Hello, CB Radio Drama Free, Twitch, YouTube. Happy 2019 first show, and here we go. Did everybody have a happy New Year? Not get too drunk? Not party till the early hours of Thursday morning? I know I had a good time. I got dressed up in fancy dress uniform, fancy dress outfit. Went to a local working man's club and got several requests for selfies to be taken with myself. So I think I might have done a very good job. But I still made it back in time for the New Year fireworks display in London. So this week on the Afternoon Twist, we got some stories. We've got the ever popular quiz from Kayla. I've even got some quiz questions myself. But I'm going to go over to Kayla to start off with your very first story. Pick your best one, Kayla. Give it to us. What you got, Kayla?
Alright, the first story I have for you is pretty short. It's about a fire causing $220,000 worth of damage to a Garrett County home. A Friday morning fire that destroyed a Garrett County home was caused by an electrical malfunction in the garage, according to the Maryland State Fire Marshal's office. The blaze broke out at the Douglas Davis residence about 6 a.m., causing an estimated $220,000 in damage to the single-story rancher. First arriving Bloomington firefighters encountered flames coming from the attached garage area. It took fire crews from 3 counties about 20 minutes to control the blaze. The home's occupant was displaced and is reportedly staying with family members. State Route 135 was closed for a short time while volunteers battled the fire. State Highway Administration personnel assisted with traffic control. So, at least nobody was hurt. And, yes, that's $220,000 worth of damage. It's a lot of money. Wow.
Ah, that is a lot of damage. But then again, when the wildfires are raging across America, they do damage in the millions and billions. Ah, right. My first opening story is from this Friday just gone. It is what's known as Fat Cat Friday. Chief execs earn the average yearly wage in just 29 hours. Friday marks the so-called Fat Cat Friday in the UK, the day on which the average FTSE CEO has earned the annual wage of a typical full-time worker, according to the latest calculations by the High Pay Centre and the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. At 1 p.m. Friday, after 29 hours of work in 2019, this figure will be reached. As our infographic shows, the median earnings of a FTSE 100 CEO were £3.9 million in 2017. This compares with just £29,574 for the typical employee in the country. Last year, it took the CEOs 2 hours longer to reach this milestone. So, there we go. fat cat bosses earning more in the first few hours than I will in a whole year. What are people's views on executives getting all these big payouts? Okay, so I see greedy so-and-sos from Alan. You know they'll just keep at it. Everybody knows of a fat cat. I'm not particularly that fat, I'm just a psycho pussy. And I'd like to give my shout out to Twitch to Saint Diddy Club. So shout out to Saint Diddy Club on Twitch. Kayla, what have you got for me?
Hey, I just, if you don't mind, real quick, wanted to say hi and also just give my opinion. Normally, and I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate here, normally you don't get to be a CEO by sitting around on your arse and doing nothing. But that being said, you know, if you're going to be a CEO and, you know, have a high pressure, you should make money. But, and I have no problem with people making money, but be damn sure that you're, you know, busting your ass to do it. Otherwise, you know, leave the door, if you know what I mean. And I'm putting it in the nicest way possible.
Thank you, Richard. It's a very valuable comment there. Well, the thing that gets me is the people that will take all these big bonuses and leave the workforce, you know, oh no, we'll get them to work for as little as possible. And then would sooner invest in more management payouts than the actual workforce. You have to pay your workers, otherwise you don't get a successful business.
You don't pay your workers properly, you don't have a business at all. They're the ones that look after it for you.
Absolutely, and if I can make it abundantly clear, you know, if you're at the top and you're doing a high pressure job and you're doing it and making sure the company runs, good. But unfortunately, these people don't, as a rule, and they should see the door and don't let them, you know, hit them on the way out. So, if you know, if I can make it abundantly clear that, you know, yeah, the workers are the ones who make the company run, they should be paid well, and yeah, so. All right, good times.
Yeah, for sure. There's too many American companies that get bonuses for doing a bad job, take a government bailout, and then they go on vacation or something. They get bonuses for bankruptcy.
Sounds like the government to me. Just basically sitting on their asses or something like that. That sounds like something the government would do. And it seems to me a lot of times that's just kind of what they do. Just sit around BS, throw money here and there to get bills passed, so on and so forth.
Yeah, you look at the big companies that have went to the wall recently, especially in the UK, Carillion and BHS and places like that. How many of them got dividends and still bonus payments where your workers got absolutely zero and a hole in the pension fund?
Yeah, and it's, well, what with HMV on the verges of going under as well, House of Fraser, the list is endless. And so, Kayla, what's your next story?
Alright, the next story I have for everybody is about President Trump saying the government shutdown could last for months or even years. He declared Friday he could keep parts of the government shut down for quite some time as he and Democratic leaders failed in a second closed-door meeting to resolve his demand for billions of dollars for a border wall with Mexico. They did agree to a new round of weekend talks between staff members and White House officials. Trump met in the White House Situation Room with congressional leaders from both parties as the shutdown hit the 2-week mark amid an impasse over his wall demands. Democrats emerged from the roughly 2-hour meeting, which both sides said he was conscientious at times, to report little if any progress. Trump said he could declare a national emergency to build the wall without congressional approval, but would first try a negotiated process. Trump previously described the situation at the border as a national emergency before he dispatched active duty troops in what critics described as a pre-election stunt. Trump also said the hundreds of thousands of federal workers who were furloughed or working without pay would want him to keep going and fight for border security. A variety of strategies are being floated inside and outside the White House. Among them, trading wall funding for a deal on immigrants brought to the country as young people and now are illegally, or using a national emergency declaration to build the wall. While Trump made clear during his press conference that talk on DACA would have to wait and that he was trying to negotiate with Congress on the wall, the conversations were raising Republican anxiety about just how to exit the shutdown. So, looks like the government could still be shut down for quite some time. What does everybody think about that?
I think we should fire Trump. Throw him out on his ear. Nobody wants his wall. 75% of America are against the wall. Only 25% are approved of the government shutdown and building the wall. So he's got to quit with what he wants and listen to the American public and what they want. He did his whole entire campaign on, I'm going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. And now he's shutting down the government and holding America hostage because he wants the taxpayers to pay for it now. If he wants the wall, then he should build it himself with his money, because no one else, 3/4 of the American public do not want the wall.
Why doesn't he do a survey and ask the people of the USA, do they want the wall built or do they not want the wall built? And ask them the question, who should pay for it? You know, like you know, the gentleman just said today, he should pay for it. Mr. Trump should pay for it out of his own pocket. He's the one who wants it done. He should pay for it.
I think there's a deeper question that should be asked here. It's something I've asked for years. I don't know whether any of you realize how much the government spends per year, but it comes down to $5 billion. And by the way, it is basically like 2 or 3 days of the government running. I think the bigger question should be, how do we refund the government so it is not using as much taxpayer money?
Okay, let me pose this question to the forum here. Mr. Fornicate, if the wall is not the answer, what do you propose as an answer to control the illegal immigration coming across our southern border?
Yeah, that is a good question there, because I am actually one of the 25%, supposed 25% there that it's for building the wall. Yes, I do think that It needs to be split always. I think the government should take a tax cut for a little while to help pay for the wall. I think out of their housing tax, because I don't know if you guys know this, but they're on top of their, what is it, $185,000 that they get for their pay and everything, they get an additional housing tax or housing pay of $3 million per year. Why can't we take out of that a little bit? I say maybe take 25% of that or something like that, or 25 to or so percent out of that, and then maybe have the taxpayers pay a smaller percentage of it, and then maybe even see if Mexico can even pitch in a percent. Have 33% all the way around. Have the government pitch out of their pockets, America put out of their pockets, and Mexico. That's what I think should be done with it.
Building the wall's a very totalitarian approach, though.
Yeah, I think we should build bridges instead of walls. I don't think the wall is the answer. And yeah, it's very totalitarian. It didn't work for Germany. Didn't work at all. In fact, it damn near bankrupted them trying to pay for it. We talk about $1 billion, $5 billion, $10 billion, $13 billion. The price keeps going up. And he lied and said Mexico was going to pay for it. Mexico told him to F off. That's just a drop in the bucket. After we spend the 25 or 15 billion to have the wall built, they're saying it's going to cost more than that just for maintenance in the first 7 years. So, I don't know. I propose that maybe we try to work with Mexico. Maybe continue to have job growth down there, bring jobs down there, maybe bring companies back from China, move them down to Mexico, and work with them instead of fighting them.
Wow. Every time I hear wall, am I being naive? I keep thinking of Pink Floyd. Ah, right, so obviously that's a very lively debate, but the show must go on. Right. £115 million jackpot winners plan to share their windfall. Story by David Young. Right, a couple who scooped £115 million on the Euro Millions jackpot on New Year's Day have described how they plan to share their good fortune with loved ones. Francis and Patrick Connolly from Moira, Northern Ireland, have begun drawing up a list of family and friends, which currently stands at 50, none of whom have been told of their imminent windfalls. Mrs. Connolly, 52, said, "This is a massive sum of money, and we want it to have a huge impact on the lives of other people we know and love, as well as on our future too. This win gives us the chance to really make a difference for our family and friends. I always hoped we would win the lottery one day, but when we did, it would be just our luck that lots of others would win on the same day with the same numbers too. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we would even win almost £115 million. Mr. Connolly, 54, said the win felt unreal. The couple said they sat in silence after they realised they had won, struggling to take it in. Mrs. Connolly said, "We don't really do excited. Perhaps I raised my voice just a bit at the time when I found out." Right, okay. That'd be hard to believe. I would collapse on the floor. Mr. Connolly said, "We really didn't know what to do or how to react. We didn't sleep a wink that night. We rang Camelot at 8 a.m. in the morning to verify the win. Then it started to dawn on us that it was true, even though it still hasn't really sunk in. The couple, who have been together for 30 years, and her 3 grown-up daughters and 3 grandchildren are still deciding how to treat themselves. Mrs. Connolly would like to buy a second-hand Jaguar. Second-hand? And her husband says he just wants to shower his wife with gifts, although a holiday to Mauritius could be on the cards, as well as trips to watch rugby matches and F1 Grand Prix. So, if you manage to scoop the lottery, would you still be talking to your friends on Zello on CB Radio Drama Free?
Yes, I would. I am who I am. Except I wouldn't extend it to 50, but there are, and I thought about this, there are probably 15 people that I care enough about in the world that I would help out because they've been there. And the other people who came out of the woodwork, well, why weren't you there when I needed help? Just a ride to the grocery store. Those who helped me, yeah, I will definitely lavish them. And I would also invest and try to invest in charity organizations.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I'd give everybody a salary.
I haven't told you the good news. They're part of my family. I can't wait when they send me a check.
Well, I grew up in the Salvation Army, and I believe in helping people who need help. If they don't, they don't, but there are people who do. They can't help the situation they're in. And I'll agree with you, yeah, have a salary, but there are some people who are just have problems that we don't understand.
For sure. Yeah, I would try to help people out. But definitely investment when I think if you could invest into something, you could maybe spread the wealth out a little more. If you could find some good investments.
I can think of a lot of good investments, Fornicate. I really can. First of all, I'd have to do something for the ROC family. There'd have to be something that you can do to, like, pay it forward, if I may say it that way. But you know that when someone wins the lottery, everybody comes out of the woodwork. Oh, I'm your cousin from this side of the family and blah, 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 blah. You have to control the flow of money, not hand it out for free, but help those that really need it in some way, like you say, an investment. Okay, you need help with money? Well, why don't we invest in this business or something to help get you started, and then you run it, and then there's your income sort of thing. That would be my idea.
Ooh, that is a really good idea. That is a fantastic idea. I know I would probably invest in 1 or 2 companies here and there. I'd be doing a lot of stuff with it. Set myself up with a good house, nice house and everything. Maybe 1 or 2 decent cars. A nice truck for me because I'd probably still keep driving for a little bit after that. And maybe even help a friend out with get his business started and everything. So, and help him out, get him kind of set up too. That'd be kind of cool.
So, would you be like the Dragon's Den or Shark Tank or whatever the Americans call these business funding communities over there? Would you want to be in and help nurture and grow a business, or?
Well, let's take Fornicate, for example. He's a good example that comes to mind when I think about this. He's good with auto mechanics. He's a handyman. He's one of those all-can-do guys, okay? All right, he's a good mechanic. I would purchase a small garage for him, and tools and whatnot, whatever he needs, and provide him with whatever he needs to do the job, and basically like open up an auto mechanic store for him in a good location where he's going to have plenty of traffic, do some advertising for him and say, okay, I've invested, you have what you need, and the rest is up to you. Would I take a cut from it? I don't think so. I don't think I could be like that, but it is an investment. Would I want paid back? I don't know. I would just want to see somebody get on their feet and run a business successfully and have all the tools they need to do so.
You know, I was thinking about that. Would I want something out of my investment? There are what are called angel investors. You know what? I might go a little bit of a different way. I'd say, yeah, if I'm going to invest money, I could lose. And that's nothing against Fornicate, but in any venture, I could lose. So yeah, but would I set a low percentage for what I want it? Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be a cutthroat, ass about it. A little bit on my investment. Yeah, I would probably do that, but enough, so that I wouldn't hurt a person or their ability to make money. But enough, yeah, a little bit back, sure.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind setting up a dolphin sanctuary for Tilly, so that she could go and have fun with the dolphins. Maybe put a Wawa next door to it.
That'd be kind of cool.
And I'm not talking just any tools for the shop. We're talking top of the line tools. What do you want, Fornicate? Some Snap-on? What's some other top brand tools? Snap-on's a pretty damn good tool. Get you a whole shop full of those with the big rolling toolbox that has the stereo in it and the TV, and get you a laptop so you can run your programs on it. And oh, you'd have to have some sort of Zello connection in your shop. That's right. Good Wi-Fi setup with Zello everywhere. There you go.
I'll tell you what, if we're going to do that, because I'm good with technology, hire me there, Mr. Fornicate, and I'll take care of all the security as far as computer security and technology on the side. And yeah, we have a business going.
Yeah, some CNC laser cutters. Yeah. Oh, to cut out all your custom parts. Hey. Yeah. Okay. So that story provoked a very good response from everybody out there. Right. Another statement I'd like to make. You might agree with it, you might disagree with it. Well, here goes. Turn off children's gadgets an hour before bed, parents told. Parents should avoid letting their children use mobile phones, tablets or computers an hour before bedtime and agree screen time limits according to new official guidance. Experts say that looking at screens in the 60 minutes before bed can disrupt sleep and impact health and well-being. Issuing the first official guidelines on screen times, the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health said parents need to worry that using devices was harmful in itself. They could be a valuable tool for children to explore the world. It has drawn up 4 questions to help parents judge if their children are using screens in a healthy way. Is your family's screen time under control? Does screen use interfere with what your family wants to do? Does screen use interfere with sleep?
Oh, snap, go ahead.
Are you able to control snacking during screen time? Dr. Max Davey, the college officer for health promotion, said, when it comes to screen time, I think it is important to encourage parents to do what is right by their family. However, we know this is a grey area and parents want support, and that's why we have produced this guide.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. I think there might be something to that. I don't know. That's very interesting.
Well, what I have to think about it is something that my wife does. She'll have a Roku box and she'll have like a screensaver on there with background noise. And I've noticed that it actually helps my kids go to sleep at night. What do you guys think about that? Because I found it actually helps them go to sleep at night and everything. And sometimes even like maybe with the phones and all that stuff there, sometimes helps keep them calmer, helps them from getting riled up, playing too hard and everything like that. And next thing you know, by the time bedtime is there, they're all wound up and everything. Just play hard during the day, maybe a little bit of screen time or quiet time and everything, just a little bit before bed. That's what I think should possibly happen, just to keep them quiet down, wind them down and everything.
I think there's a problem there. When you start to talk about, keeping the kids quiet, which I agree, is a good thing, but then we get into a different conversation. Instead of screen time, we're getting to,
Hold and talk button.
What makes, a child lying down. And I believe, letting a kid play hard. When I was a little kid, that I used to do it, and then my mother would tell me, hey, it's time to quiet down. It's time to, come and sit at the table, have dinner. I think family time is something that is severely lacking. And I think when you give a babysitter gadgets, there's a problem. I have no problem with technology. I love it. But when it becomes the focus, and this is a problem with parents too, then there is a problem.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. I'm wondering if it is the screen time so much, or is it just the fiddling with the electronics? If they did a study among blind children that have no vision, and they would they have the same findings, or would it be different? Does it have to do with the sight of the screen, the blue light, or does it have more to do with being so preoccupied with the electronics? I guess.
I think it's because kids don't get outside and play much, kind of following along with, I believe, what Aflac said in Wombat. When I was a kid, and of course, these are different times, but, when I was a kid, I'd go out and play with my friends. There were no electronics. I was out riding my bike, we're running the neighborhoods, and it was a lot safer back then, too. And then, your body is tired. It's the end of the day, and you've been riding your bike and hanging out and stuff like that. So you take a shower, eat dinner, take a shower, you go to bed. I would always read a book when I was a kid. I used to love to read all the time. And I'd read a little bit before bed, and then I'd roll over and go to sleep. Nowadays, kids don't do very much of physical activity, so they're not that tired. So they resort, of course, to their electronics. And that could be one of the reasons for lack of sleep is inactivity of the body. What's that big thing the NFL was promoting a couple years ago? Was that Play 60 or something, where kids get out and play at least 60 minutes a day? I think that should be like 120 or something. Get out and do more, be more active, get off the butt, get off the electronics, and actually go do something.
Yeah, but if it was set too high, then you're driving away any that might think that they can achieve the lower target. And just something interesting that Computer Chicks posted. Google Home and Chromecast devices were vulnerable to attacks through regular web browsers. Oh, my word. Kayla, I know the questions quiz is a big part of the show and is what people like to hear. So can we have your quiz questions? And we'd like people to participate, please. As always, text if you can text. Grab a button if you can grab a button. Not necessarily the answer has to be right. Funny answers are also welcome as well.
Yes, I do have some questions for everybody, and yes, like Psycho Bag of Post said, you can text in the text box or key up if you think you know the answer. And yes, funny answers are always welcome. Alright, question number 1. Who was the captain of the Mayflower when it took the Pilgrims to New England in 1620?
Bumblebee.
Captain Kirk.
Captain Pugwash.
Oh, come on, everybody knows it was Captain Morgan.
Captain Crunch.
Boaty McBoatface.
Abandoned ship.
Captain Super Underpants. God, didn't you guys know this?
Captain Kangaroo.
It was Captain Picard. Stop it.
Captain Long Dong.
Captain Birdeye.
It was Christopher Jones. Oh my. Alright, for you UK people, you all should know this one. Who was the King of Britain during the American Revolutionary War?
King George.
Charles the First.
Thank you to Mickey Musketeer for your answer on Twitch. Yes, very amusing.
Yeah, but was it the first? I thought it was the... Okay. I thought it was the second. Okay, shows how much I know.
It was George III. Yes. Alright, question number 3. Which U.S. president issued the Emancipation Proclamation?
Ronald Reagan.
Elliot Ness.
Me. The constipation. I'm gonna go with I think the other guy had it right. I think it was Ronald Reagan.
It was actually quite before Reagan's time. It was actually Abraham Lincoln. Alright. Question number 4. Which event did U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt call a day which will live in infamy?
That was the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Prohibition.
I wish it was Prohibition, but yeah. And just a comment about Abraham Lincoln. When he gave that address at the time, nobody cared. Nobody was even listening to him. Sad. Very sad.
Did he have it kept under his hat then?
The day I changed my underwear.
Oh, fornicate. Yes, it was the attack on Pearl Harbor. Very good, Alan. And yes. So, question number 5. In what city would you find the Wizard of Oz?
Emerald City.
In the city of Kansas, of course.
Wisconsin.
I was going to say Kansas.
It's the same place where East Texas guy's been hiding.
Oh, Craig, you will not find him for a while. He's with Lord Lucan.
Kansas.
At the end of the Yellow Brick Road.
Glasgow.
The Emerald City of Wisconsin.
Yes, I think East Texas guy is hiding out in this city. And yes, it is the Emerald City. Yes, East Texas guy must have blew over there somehow. Alright, question number 6. What popular Disney movie is set near Salem, Massachusetts in the years 1693 and 1993?
Dumbo.
The Witch Trials.
Bambi.
Everything your eyes touch is your kingdom. The Lion King.
The greatest movie Disney ever made. The Life and Times of the Wombat.
I would have said Fantasia, but never mind.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
A Walt Disney film. Oh, that rules out Children of the Corn then.
It's actually Hocus Pocus. I'm surprised nobody caught that one. Alright, question number 7. Which actor played the fictional character Dr. Emmett Brown in the Back to the Future trilogy?
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, it's the old guy that accompanied Michael J. Fox. Damn. Thought he sort of looked like a bit like Albert Einstein.
Just a real quick question, if anybody knows this, is the dude who played the younger guy, I know he was suffering from a disease. Is he still alive? I hope he is, but I'm just curious.
Michael J. Fox? Yeah, I think he's still alive.
Christopher Lloyd. I think that's what Computer Chick said.
Yes, Michael J. Fox is still alive as far as I know. And yes, it is Christopher Lloyd. Very good. Alright, question number 8. What is the fastest fish in the ocean?
Dolphin. No, I don't know. I thought it was a dolphin.
I'm going to say the great white shark.
Absolutely not a great white shark, but I'm not sure, so what do I know?
Great white shark.
I think it's a sailfin, isn't it? Sailfin fish.
Yeah, I was going to say the sailfish, but there's one fish I know that's faster than the sailfish, and that's the fish fillet at McDonald's during Lent.
Fish fillet? Huh?
Very good, the sailfish. Yes, I think there was a couple people that got that one. Yes, the sailfish. Alright, by area, what is the smallest ocean in the world?
I'm going to say the Mediterranean Ocean.
Can't be that. That's not an ocean. I'm going to say the Arctic Ocean. Although I think I'm wrong on that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. The Indian, the Pacific is good. The Atlantic. Oh, shut up.
Yeah, Indian Ocean.
The Indian Ocean.
Indian Ocean. Yep.
I'm going with, it's either got to be Ocean Spray or Ocean's 11.
Oh, okay. Because I remember looking at it, well, feeling a globe when I was a much younger kid, and I thought the Indian Ocean was bigger than the Arctic. But if everybody says it's the Indian, then I'll go with it. Indian.
Actually, Wombat, you are correct. It is the Arctic Ocean. Alright, question number 10, the last question I have for everybody. What is the largest animal currently on Earth?
Well, let's see here. It can't be Roseanne Barr. I'm gonna go with the blue whale.
Yeah, blue whale. I would have thought.
I'm going to say the Megalodon because they have found traces of the Megalodon still being alive. So I'm going to say Megalodon.
Sperm whale.
I say Dumbo, but yeah, Megalodon, blue whale. There are definitely. Did you say on Earth or on land?
If it's on land, I say giraffe. But in the water, blue whale.
Yes, it was on Earth. So yes, you all are correct. It was the blue whale. Alright, that is all the questions I have for you this week. I believe Psycho Bacopus has some questions for you as well.
I do have questions. Oh, how are we doing? 13 minutes. Okay. Right. These, I've got 16 questions. We'll have to zip through these. Right. Who saw in 2019 by unveiling his new single at NASA's headquarters?
Elon Musk.
Well, you would have thought it would have been him, but it's related to, if I said Freddie Mercury, would anybody be able to guess from that?
Brian May. Said Brian May then.
Yes, it is, in fact, Brian May. Second question is, who said his brother saved his life and risked his own dancing career by throwing himself in front of nightclub attackers?
Oh, that's that AJ. Oh, I don't know the surname. AJ something.
Simpson, was that?
AJ Foyt.
I was going to say Patrick Swayze.
Actually, it was John Travolta.
AJ Pritchard, and his brother was Curtis, who was a professional dancer on Ireland's Dancing with the Stars. Right, question 3. Which statue in Westminster has been upgraded to a Grade 2 listed status to mark the end of the centenary of women being granted the vote?
Statue of Liberty.
It's, I guess, Emily Pankhurst.
I don't know that one. I think Statue of Liberty. I don't know for sure.
I think it's that statue, that old statue, the guy with no arms, and you can see his penis.
Can't believe all of you would say the Statue of Liberty, and that's in New York. We're talking about England. That is something I should know, and I don't know where it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Venus de Milo.
Asquith.
Yes, it is Emily Pankhurst. And she apparently overlooks Parliament. Yeah. Venus de Milo. It's almost like the fallen Madonna with the big zibobses. Jimmy Osmond was taken ill after performing as witch character in Panto's Peter Pan at Birmingham Hippodrome. This is another stage venue in the UK, so we want the character he was performing as.
Michael Jackson.
Fagin.
Jimmy Stewart. No, I have no idea.
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook.
Smeagol. Prince Charming.
Captain Hook.
Smee! What about Smee?
So precious.
Tilly, you were the first person to get Captain Hook. So I give that question to Tilly. Well done, Tilly. Okay. The 200th anniversary of birth of which monarch will be commemorated with a £5 coin this year?
I'm gonna say Kim Ujan origin, or his family, or someone, or his family.
Queen Victoria the First.
Queen Victoria the First.
I'm gonna say the current queen, the one that's on the throne right now, Queen Elizabeth. She's got to be at least 200. Have you seen her lately?
I'm going to say the realm of King Richard Francis Claypool I. Oh wait, that's me. Never mind.
And I thought the queen was more like 300 or 400 years old, Fornicate. You're throwing me off here. Come on now.
Queen Victoria.
Yes, it is Queen Victoria. And there was 2 Elizabeths, by the way. We're currently on Elizabeth II. Who did Taylor Swift dress up as for a star-studded New Year party?
Justin Bieber.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Alice in Wonderland.
Henry Winkler.
Simon Cowell.
Tilly, I'll give you a clue. Ariel.
I'm in my room in the dark listening to Kumbaya songs.
The Little Mermaid.
Hey, I just want to get that one. Yeah, Little Mermaid.
No, he said areola, a giant boob.
A giant boob. You can bounce on them, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Granny, stick with us. The afternoon twist is almost over. Right, an episode of which Netflix satirical comedy series has been removed in Saudi Arabia because it was deemed critical of the kingdom's rulers.
Well, hello, CB Radio, Drama Free Chat. Radio Skip out here saying hello to everybody out there.
Hey, Radio Skip, we're in the middle of the afternoon twist. Well, it's almost over with, but come on in. And I'm going to go with Sesame Street, or, yeah.
I should know what this is. In fact, I wrote a satirical commentary on it, and I can't remember what it is. So when I hear it, I'm gonna go kick whoever it is up the cuckoo. No, actually, I can't remember who it is.
Okay, it is in fact Hassan Minhaj's Patriot Act. Right. Just a couple more questions and then we'll be almost done. Oh, and I didn't get round to the bus stories either. Right. Scientists of NASA's New Horizon team drew a picture of what to show the shape of the mysterious object named Ultima Thule.
Is the hint areola again? I'm sticking with giant boob.
A penis-shaped cloud.
I was thinking my wonderful buttocks.
And just pray for my kidney.
I said pizza.
The frog.
I'm changing my answer. I'm going with boobs because they're wonderful.
Now think festive.
My big ears.
Santa Claus.
Well, I'm going to have to go with the same answer as my favorite grocery store, Aldi's. We're going to go with a set of double D's.
I'm going to go with that too. Absolutely. And I'll trickle them.
I want to help out my daughter, and I need triple G's. Can you help me on that?
Don't forget the silverware.
I think it's a giant finger.
How about my rotisserie chicken?
Drumstick.
It is in fact a snowman. All right. We'll leave the questions there. And Kayla, this week in history, please.
Hello, Giggle. Hey, dude.
Yes, hello there, Radio Skip. Welcome to the Afternoon Twist. Alright, yes, I do have this week in history for everybody. Alright, in 1944, Hungary declares war on Germany. In 1965, California becomes the largest state by population. In 1808, a U.S. law banning the import of slaves comes into effect, but is widely ignored. In 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing the slaves in the Confederacy. In 1891, facilities open on Ellis Island, New York, to cope with a vast flood of immigrants coming into the United States. In 1936, in Berlin, Nazi officials claim that their treatment of Jews is not the business of the League of Nations. In 1999, a severe winter storm hits the Midwestern U.S. In Chicago, temperatures plunged to negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit, and 19 inches of snow fell. 68 deaths are blamed on the storm. In 2006, a coal mine explosion in West Virginia kills 12 miners and critically injures another. This accident and another within weeks lead to the first changes in federal mining laws in decades. In 1961, the United States breaks diplomatic relations with Cuba, and in 1974, President Richard Nixon refuses to hand over tape recordings and documents that had been subpoenaed by the Senate Watergate Committee.
Oh, very interesting, Kayla. I've got a couple more stories I want to squeeze in. Okay, we've hit the 7 o'clock mark. So, right. Sloshed 999 time wasters demand lift home. A drunk time waster has been blasted by police for calling the emergency service number and demanding a ride home. The woman called Nottinghamshire police and ordered them to fetch her, threatening to kick off if they refused. In a recording of the call, the woman slurs, "Hello? You all right, chicken?" The call handler asks, "What's happened?" To which the woman replies, "What do you mean? What's happened?" "Nothing's happened." The call handler then asks, "Why have you dialed the emergency number?" The woman replies, "You have to come and fetch me, innit, because I'm going to start kicking off." When the call handler asks the woman what the emergency is, the caller tells her, the emergency is that I just want to go home." The call handler tells the woman that it is not good enough reason to dial the emergency number. The woman then launches into a foul-mouthed tirade before again asking for a lift home. The nuisance caller is the latest in a string of time wasters to call the emergency number for bizarre reasons. The force has also revealed a person called to complain about a mechanic's garage closing early on Christmas Eve. Another dialed the emergency number to report their oven door smashing while cooking a turkey on Christmas Day. One caller asked for help after they left their diary at work, while another wanted help activating a new SIM card. Chief Inspector Neil Williams for Nottinghamshire Police Contact Management Department said the vast majority of public understand that the emergency number is only to be used in genuine emergencies, but we do still receive a number of misplaced calls to our emergency number. While some of the misplaced calls we receive range from honest errors or of judgment to the more unusual, there is a serious point to be made here, as every misplaced call to the emergency call handlers receive has the potential to delay them from responding to genuine emergencies. So,
I have to say that is an awesome little bunch of stories to end the show. This is the first time I have listened to the show, and I think it's great.
It's just cheeky, isn't it? I know our Angie works for Northwest Ambulance, and I can imagine some of the calls they get when you see it on telly, don't you? People kicking off because there's a cat stuck in a tree and they can't get a tin open. That's another one. Ringing the ambulance service because they can't open a tin. It's crazy. Honestly, crazy.
well, surely the fire brigade would have been a better choice there with their jaws of life. They could slice that tin right open. Yeah. People just have no brains. Dear. Oh. But then again, some of these things that are said to them, surely they have to keep confidential anyway. Sometimes you just want to shout and scream and tell them to, or give them an on-the-spot fine or something.
I will agree with you 100%. Everybody knows in here my lack of, I hate Stuka. Well, I don't hate, but I dislike Stuka Kegel. But there you go.
And I'll have to use the story about the bus toilet next week. So stay tuned for the story about the bus toilet. And my closing, I'd like to thank the ROC, Computer Chick Productions. Email us at ROC Productions at googlegroups.com. And yes, and of course the wishing Stunt Croc well for his recovery after the fantastic attempt to jump a giant taco float this morning. And of course CB Radio Drama Free, Twitch, YouTube. This has been a Zello Radio Network production. Thank you. The Afternoon Twist will return next week.